In this experiment, we're going to use a pH meter, so one of these devices, to measure the pH changes over the course of a titration, and from that we can make a titration curve. So the first thing you have to do is you actually have to calibrate your pH meter. So we use a pH 7 buffer and a pH 4 buffer, and then we dip the pH meter into those two solutions. We know that these are the pHs, we're certain of that, and then we can calibrate the meter. So that's the first step that we would do. So in this reaction, we are going to be titrating acetic acid, and in this example we're using 5% acetic acid, so it is asking for 0.1 molar acetic acid. So I will need to dilute our 0.83 molar acetic acid down first off. So we're going to use our handy C1 V1 equals C2 V2 equation. So we know that our initial concentration is 0.83 molars. Our final concentration we want to be 0.10 molars, and our volume, it's telling us to make up 40 milliliters. So V2 is equal to 40 milliliters. So we need to know how much volume we initially need of the 0.83 molars to dilute to 40 milliliters. So we're going to rearrange. So we want to know what V1 is. So it's going to be C2 times V2 over C1. So that's equal to 0.10 molars times 40 milliliters divided by the initial concentration, 0.83 moles per liter. So I'll just move that up there. So we need approximately 4.8 milliliters. So we're just going to round that off to 5 for our pipette reasons of the acetic acid. So I've prepared my 40 milliliter solution of acetic acid, the diluted version. So now we have 40 milliliters of 0.1 moles per liter acetic acid. And I've recorded down that I am using 0.1 mole per liter sodium hydroxide. And I am reading my initial reading on my burette to be 8.0 milliliters. And now we will do our titration using the pH meter. I have added some phenolphthalein just to have that indication as well, but we'll be relying on our pH meter for this titration. And we'll take regular measurements and record that information down, and we'll be able to plot our titration curve of pH versus the volume added. So I'll be making additions and doing readings along the way. So our initial pH currently at 0 milliliters added of base is 2.36. So then I'll add increments as we go. Add another milliliter very slowly. Okay, so now I've added a second milliliter. Do another swirl, take another reading. Now we're stabilizing at 2.85. 2.85. It fluctuates once I take it out. 2.85. We'll add another milliliter very carefully. There's my second milliliter. Do a swirl, take a reading. 2.97. So that 3 milliliters of base added, we're at 2.9. Actually, it stabilized at 2.98. Now I'll add another milliliter. There. Do a swirl, oops. Take a reading. we're up to 3 point, just let it stabilize. So at 4 milliliters, we're at, it's fluctuating, 3.10. Now we'll add a fifth one. So at 5 milliliters, we are at 3.19. Add another. At 10 milliliters, we are at 3.58. I'll add an 11th. There we go. We're at 3.63 at 11. Now we'll add another. So we're at 24, we're at 4.34. There we go. At the next one, at 25, we're at 4.39. See, you can see that there's some pink happening each time. That time we jumped to 6.30. Okay, now I'm really going to just add a little bit at a time, so half a milliliter. So this time I did 39.5. We went up all the way to 9.40. Yeah, so we hit our equivalence point. So I'm going to add another half. Now we're at 40.0 milliliters added. We're at 9.75. I had a little splash there. Oops. We'll do another couple readings. 49.5. We are at, or 40.5. We're at 11.02. And I'm going to add my last half milliliter. There's no more in the burette. So 41.0, we are at 12.14. So there's our titration. I'll record the results and show them all to you. We can see that we've gone pink, we've reached the end point. So after doing our titration, we can take all of this data and create a titration curve and then analyze it. So as you can see, I've plotted my data into a graph, and we can see that along the x-axis we're following the volume of sodium hydroxide added, and then along the y-axis we see the changes in pH as we added. So you can see that there was a really long period of time where there was not much of a change in the pH. So we can see that there was a buffering region. So there's some things that we could identify. So we can see that whole buffering region. We can identify our equivalence point as being about here, about 39.5 milliliters added. So, and the pH at that point was just over 8. So there's our equivalence point. So around here is our half equivalence point-ish, and that would be equivalent to our pKa is equal to the pH at that point. So at our half equivalence point, our pKa is around 4 for this.